Hey guys, welcome back to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and more importantly, welcome back to Rambling About Nonsense. Today, what I wanted to talk about was the NHL trade deadline. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, about like around 23 minutes or so, I would imagine. So let's go from the day, which is the 26th, obviously. Go all the way from the first trade to the last trade. So, Columbus Blue Jackets acquire Ian Cole from the Ottawa Senators for Nick Motre and a third-round pick. And this one was obvious from just an NHL League Point viewpoint, because Ottawa didn't even have Ian Cole come to Canada. Didn't even have him go through immigration or whatever. Immigration? Whatever. I can't remember. I'm dumb. They didn't even have him go to Canada. Didn't even have him go to Ottawa. They were like, hey, just stay in Ottawa, or stay in America, because they're going to trade you anyway. And they traded him to Columbus. And what they got for him? I mean, yeah, Nick Motre and a third-round pick. Nothing, not going to set the world on fire, but, you know, it's a trade. After that, like 2 hours after that, maybe even 3 if I'm remembering, no, 2 years, 2 hours, not 2 years, 2 hours after that, Nashville Predators acquire Ryan Hartman and a 2018 5th-round pick from Chicago. Also, I should mention that that third-round pick that Ottawa acquired was 2020 third-round pick. But yeah, Nashville acquires Ryan Hartman, a 2018 5th-round pick from Chicago, in exchange for Victor Ijsel, a 2018 first, and a 2018 4th-round pick. Kind of a weird one. Nashville kind of, I would say, overpaid for this, but oh well. Ryan Hartman is a nice little gritty kind of guy who will help out Nashville, and I still don't really understand the whole gotta give up a first for him, but it is what it is, whatever. And then in a more surprising trade, Winnipeg Jets acquire Paul Stastny from St. Louis for a 2018 first and rights to forward Eric Foley. And I think there's also a conditional fourth in there, I thought. I guess I'm wrong about that. No, I'm pretty sure there's a fourth in there. But oh well. If the NHL actual website shows no fourth, then they're on drugs, I guess. I'm pretty sure there was a fourth in there. Unless it was like not the fourth, but oh well. Vancouver Canucks, I'll talk about some of the trades a little bit in more detail later, but Vancouver and Vegas trade prospects. Vancouver acquires Brendan Lipsick and Venden. Vegas acquires defenseman Philip Holm, Brendan Lipsick being a forward, of course. Columbus Blue Jackets and Arizona do another prospect swap. Columbus acquiring forward Ryan Kujawinski, and Arizona acquiring forward Jordan Maleta. Anaheim, they acquired Jason Chimera in exchange for forward Chris Wagner, and I thought there was another prospect in there, but whatever. And all of these trades now are going to be like right at the deadline at 2:59. Winnipeg Jets acquire defenseman Joe Morrow for a 4th-round pick from Montreal. Montreal acquires defenseman Mike Riley from Minnesota for a 5th. Calgary Flames acquire Nick Shore for a 7th from Ottawa. A part of that Gabrick deal, Nick Shore was. Now he's off to Calgary. Pittsburgh Penguins acquire forward Josh Juris from Carolina in exchange for forward Greg McKegg. Boston acquires Tommy Wingles from Chicago for a conditional 5th. I can't remember what the conditional part is. I think it becomes a 4th if either Tommy Wingles resigns or Boston makes it to the 2nd round or something. Nashville acquires forward Tyler Gaudette, defenseman John Ramage from Arizona in exchange for defenseman Trevor Murray and forward Pierre Cedric Labrie. New York acquires Chris Bigros from Colorado for defenseman Ryan Graves. New Jersey acquires Patrick Maroon from Edmonton for a 2019 3rd and forward Joey Dudek. Columbus acquires Thomas Vanek from Vancouver in exchange for forwards Tyler Motte and UC Okinen, making UC Okinen letting him be in very rare company where he has now been on 4 teams in 1 season. Good job, UC. Only 4 players, I think, or maybe 5, have had that wonderful opportunity. San Jose acquires cancer forward Evander Kane from Buffalo in exchange for a 2019 conditional 1st, a 2019 4th, and forward Dan O'Regan. Then we get into some more of the bigger trades. Evander Kane was a little bit of a big one, but I don't really care because I don't think San Jose is going to make the playoffs even with this trade. But Vegas acquires Thomas Tatar for a 2018 first, a 2019 second, and a 2021 3rd round pick. Tampa Bay, now this is the biggest one of the day. Tampa Bay acquires Ryan McDonough, forward JT Miller from New York, in exchange for Vladislav Nemesnikov, defenseman Libor Hajek, and forward Brett Howden with a 2018 first and a 2019 conditional 1st. I don't know what the conditional is. It's probably like if Tampa Bay wins the cup or something, I would imagine. But off of that, let's talk a little bit more in depth. And as a Jets fan, of course, I'm going to talk about the Jets trades first. Let's just get the Joe Morrow one out of the way first. Joe Morrow was a former 1st round draft pick. Played 4 seasons with Boston, and then I think signed in Montreal or was traded to Montreal or something like that. So that's the Joe Morrow trade. Strictly is a depth move that I like. We need the depth anyway, so might as well get that in there, just in case we get a few injuries. Yeah, it's a 4th round pick. Whatever, it's a 4th round pick. Oh well. It could become a gem, but more likely than not, it's not. So who cares? Whatever. Paul Stastny kind of came out of nowhere. Even on Trade Center, they were like, "Well, we didn't have Paul Stastny even on the board." For good reason. You wouldn't really expect St. Louis to trade Paul Stastny, especially since they were only 1 point out of the playoff race as of the trade deadline day. So yesterday. And I know they're still 1 point, I'm pretty sure, behind Minnesota. Unless they won yesterday, and unless they played yesterday, but I can't remember. Whatever. So we gave up a 2018 first, and again, I'm pretty sure it was a 2018 4th. Or no, maybe it was a 2019 4th. I can't remember. And Eric Foley. And apparently Eric Foley is a good prospect. I hadn't heard of him, so I don't really care that much about it. The 1st round pick kind of stings a little bit because we don't have a 1st round pick now. But I think that's still fine because our team is kind of set up to not really need draft picks now. So that's fine. And Paul Stastny, I really like this trade. I really liked him in Colorado, and I really liked him in St. Louis. And in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions, Winnipeg probably has the best top 9, maybe even the best just overall forwards in the NHL, but that could obviously be argued with the likes of Tampa Bay, even Vegas for that matter. But I really like this trade for Winnipeg. I don't think we're giving up too much. Like if there was if it was a second instead of a fourth, I'm pretty sure the fourth is still in this trade. I could be wrong, but whatever. If it was a second instead of the fourth, then I would have been like, that's a little bit much, but that's fine. I'm okay with this. This is fine. This is fine. Paul Stastny is probably strictly going to be on the third line, second line if any injuries pop up. But I like this line, or rather, I like this idea, or this trade. Let me just talk. Jeez. Because now Paul Stastny is going to, most likely, I don't know what Paul Maurice is going to do, but most likely it's going to be Paul Stastny going to be the center to the line of Ehlers and Laine. So it's going to be Ehlers on the left, Stastny in the center, and then Laine on the right. And that's just saying, that's our third line. That is our third line. Most teams don't have a better first line than our third line. That's something that we really haven't said in Winnipeg for like ever. But we have Ehlers, Stastny, and Laine on our third line. That just goes to show you the depth in Winnipeg. That just goes to show you the star power in Winnipeg. So regardless on that, I say Winnipeg wins this trade. I say St. Louis wins this trade too. It's a win-win, essentially. St. Louis doesn't get worse from this, from the fact that they can probably re-sign Paul Stastny at the end of the year, because I don't know if Paul Stastny will re-sign with the Jets. I was thinking maybe he would re-sign for 2.8, but at the same point, it's like he's probably just going to go back to St. Louis next year, or maybe some other team. Maybe go back to Colorado. Who knows? Bouncing off of that, Nashville trading Victor Edshell, a 2018 first, 2018 fourth, for Ryan Hartman and a 2018 fifth. I don't really... Let's say this. I think Winnipeg obviously won the better side of this deal than Nashville did. But I don't dislike the trade. I just think they gave away too much. I don't think a first round pick is enough value, or no, is too much value for somebody like Ryan Hartman. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ryan Hartman will become like a first line forward of the future for Nashville and maybe even be like a freaking superstar in this league. I don't know. It could happen. It most likely will not, but it's something to think about. After that, next biggest trade would, I guess, be Patrick Maroon, and he's heading to the Devils. In exchange, Edmonton takes a 2019 third and Joey Dudek. So Patrick Maroon, what does he do for New Jersey? He's a gritty little forward that you need in the playoffs. So I don't think most people are talking enough about New Jersey, sadly, because I think New Jersey right now in the league, or rather in their division, I should say, they are what? They're in the first wildcard spot, so sorry. And it looks like they're going to make the playoffs. They're 7 points out of a playoff spot. New York Islanders are 7 points behind them. But they also have a game in hand. and they're only 4 points behind Pittsburgh with the game in hand on them. So if they win, then they would be like 2 points behind them. But and not only that, I mean, they're still only like 6 points out of first in the Metro. So it's, I mean, I don't think Patrick Maroon is going to help them get to first in the Metro, but I think Patrick Maroon will definitely help them in the playoffs, because I definitely think New Jersey will make the playoffs. So that's fine. Columbus trading for Thomas Vanek, I wouldn't necessarily call that a panic move, but they are 4 points out of a wild card spot, well, 5 points I guess, and Carolina and New York are like just right there, and also Florida has 4 games in hand on Columbus and they have 62 points, so that's a possible of 8 points. So if Florida can manage to win a lot of games, they could edge Columbus. So actually, the more I think about it, it kind of is a little bit of a panic trade, but they did just beat Washington yesterday, so pretty good from them. San Jose acquires Evander Kane for a first, a conditional 2019 first, a 2019 fourth, and forward Dan O'Regan. I really don't like this trade in the way that I don't like Evander Kane. I think he's a great player, but off the ice he is, like I said before, just cancer. I don't like to say that because I don't want to be like offensive or anything, but the reason why Evander Kane was traded from the Jets was because he was that. He was just not a good off-ice kind of guy. And even in Buffalo, we still heard that. So it's not a coincidence that that happened. So now he heads to San Jose, but San Jose is a little bit of a different team because San Jose is a team full of veterans. And not only that, Brent Burns is probably going to discipline him a little bit. So if Evander Kane can become clean, I guess, then fine. San Jose right now in the division, in the wild card race, I guess, or just in the playoff race, I guess. They currently have 75 points and are currently literally 3 points out of a playoff spot, 2 points out of a playoff spot actually. I mean, Los Angeles looks to be coming back, so it's hard to say. I don't exactly know what San Jose's schedule is looking like, comparable to Los Angeles and Calgary's, because Calgary and Los Angeles both have 73 points, 63 games played, and San Jose has 63 games played, 75 points. Anaheim has 64 games played, 74 points, but that can change by a dime. So the Pacific is still wide open as for the second spot to the wild card spot. The Central is pretty much spotted up for the first and the second. It just depends on whether Nashville or Winnipeg who takes the edge, and Nashville and Winnipeg play tonight, so that's going to be interesting. This is a difference between Winnipeg being tied with them. Nashville still having a game in hand, mind you, but it's still pretty big. Vegas acquires Thomas Tatar from Detroit for a 2018 first, a 2019 second, and a 2021 third. Vegas, I don't need to say anything. They have completely surprised everybody. I don't know if it's a matter of teams just not you know, respecting Vegas enough and just thinking it's going to be an easy game to play. They're 24-5-2 at home, which is I think the best home record in the NHL. Tampa Bay is 21-6-1. Boston's 19-7-4. Toronto's 22-8-2. Pittsburgh's 23-7-1. Washington's 21-9-2. Nashville's 22-7-3. Winnipeg is 23-6-2. Minnesota's 21-5-6. That's pretty good. It beats out Winnipeg by a little bit. Right, so
watch those blasters.
I don't know if Vegas is gonna go far, but they can surprise. They can definitely surprise people. I don't think that's out of the question. That Vegas can definitely surprise teams. If Vegas becomes first, I mean, that wild card is still so spotty. But if Vegas plays a team like Los Angeles, do you expect Vegas to beat Los Angeles? What about Dallas? Can they beat Dallas? I know a lot of people's favorites are either Winnipeg or Nashville in the West. I say Winnipeg for me, but that's just because I'm a little bit biased. But regardless on that. And the last trade, Tampa Bay trades Vladislav Mesnikov, Libor Hasek, Brett Howden, a 2018 first-round pick, 2019 conditional first, for Ryan McDonough and JT Miller. I don't like this trade myself, just because I don't think they needed to do that. This is literally just what Washington did last year when they when they traded for Kevin Shattenkirk. And then Kevin Shattenkirk left. Ryan McDonough is, of course, on contract for another year, I think, right? Or was that somebody else? I can't remember. But I don't like the trade because I don't like the fact that they give up Nemesnikov, who I think was a pretty big piece, but maybe it wasn't as big a piece as I think he was. But regardless, I think that wraps up the trades, all the trades. I think Winnipeg is a winner. I think Chicago is a winner. I think Detroit's definitely a winner. I think Buffalo is I think New Jersey's a winner. That's about it. I don't necessarily say Nashville is a winner because I don't really necessarily think they needed to have done what they did. Tampa Bay is up in the air. If they win the cup, they're a winner, of course. But for right now, I kind of think that wasn't the right move to have made. But maybe they'll surprise me. I hope they do. Actually, I don't, because I want Winnipeg to win, of course. But whatever, right? So on that point, we are getting to the end of the episode. So I will see you guys in the next Rambling About Nonsense. This was, of course, the trade deadline. A special, I guess. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye!